Hey there, and welcome to the Explainer. Have you ever looked at something you wrote and thought, wow, this is just kind of boring? Or maybe you've struggled to paint that perfect, vivid picture in your head for someone else. Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're unlocking the English language's absolute best secret weapons, the ultimate sentence superchargers, adjectives and adverbs.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the contrast here really hits the nail on the head. Look, when we rely just on basic nouns and verbs, we get, well, flat communication. It's really just the skeleton of a thought, right? Like, the dog barked. Okay, sure, but when we inject details, stuff about size, shape, color, or manner, boom, we get vibrant communication. The massive, black dog barked viciously. See the difference? We've literally gone from this blurry, vague sketch to a full-on, high-definition scene.
So, here's our game plan for today's Explainer. First, we'll look at the power of modifiers. Then, adjectives, defining the noun. Third, adverbs, upgrading the action. Fourth, how to spot them. And finally, empowering your communication. Let's get to it. Section 1. The power of modifiers. Basically, these are the essential building blocks that give us all that extra critical context.
Moving right along to Section 2, Adjectives, defining the noun.
So, the crucial point here is exactly what an adjective does. Think of it this way. If a noun is a person, place, or thing, the adjective is its personalized wardrobe. Adjectives are words that modify or describe nouns or pronouns. Their entire job, literally their only job, is to provide characteristics. We're talking size, shape, color, mood, all those little things that give a noun its distinct, unmistakable features. Now, to really master these, we've got to realize that adjectives aren't all just cut from the same cloth. They actually break down into 4 distinct categories based on their function. We've got descriptive, quantitative, demonstrative, and possessive. Let's break these down one by one so you can see exactly how they work. First up, descriptive adjectives. These are the ones you're probably most familiar with. They're super common, and they describe the physical or emotional attributes of a noun. So when you use words like tall, short, happy, sad, beautiful, ugly, smart, or dumb, you are giving your audience a direct sensory or emotional cue about your subject. Next, we've got quantitative adjectives. Now, these are all about precision and scale. They describe the quantity or the exact amount of a noun or pronoun. Think of words like to, many, few, several, all, some, any, or each. I mean, there's a massive difference between saying, I have problems and I have 2 problems or I have many problems, right? Quantitative adjectives give your nouns those much-needed measurable boundaries. Then we have demonstrative adjectives. I actually like to think of these as the pointing fingers of the English language. They are used to point out or indicate a very specific noun. We're talking this, that, these, and those. You aren't just talking about any random car. You're talking about this car right here, or that car over there. They lock the noun into a specific physical space. Finally, rounding out our adjective playbook, we have possessive adjectives. As the name suggests, these are all about ownership. Words like my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. They instantly establish a relationship between the noun and someone else. So it's not just a brilliant idea, it's your brilliant idea.
Let's move to our next section and see how this builds on what we've learned. Section 3, Adverbs, upgrading the action.
Now, the key difference here is exactly what these words target. Adverbs are words that modify or describe verbs, adjectives, or even other adverbs. Notice what's missing? Nouns. They do not touch nouns. Instead, adverbs provide absolutely vital information about the manner, time, place, or degree of an action or event. Really, they are the context engines of your sentences. And beautifully, just like our adjectives, adverbs can be categorized into 4 functional groups to help us digest them better. We have adverbs of manner, time, place, and degree. Let's do some rapid-fire examples for these too. First up are manner adverbs. These describe the exact way in which an action or event is carried out. Basically, how did it happen? Did it happen quickly, slowly, carefully, clumsily, easily? Manner adverbs inject that essential personality and pacing directly into your verbs. Next are time adverbs. These totally anchor your action onto a timeline. They describe the time or the frequency of an event. Words like yesterday, today, tomorrow, always, never, and often. They tell your audience exactly when they should be picturing this action taking place, or, how routinely it actually happens.
Then we have place adverbs. These direct the location or the physical direction of the action. Where is this happening? Is it happening here, there, up, down, inside, or outside? They basically build the physical stage where your verbs perform.
And finally, degree adverbs. Think of these as the literal volume dials for your sentences. They describe the intensity or degree of an action, an adjective, or even another adverb. Like, are you just tired? Are you extremely tired? Did you finish or did you nearly finish? Words like very, quite, extremely, nearly, and almost allow you to crank up the intensity or just dial it back with total precision.
All right, Section 4, how to spot them. Let's turn you into a grammar detective.
Now, what's really interesting about this cheat sheet is that it makes identification super simple. To truly master these, you just need to interrogate the sentence. Ask yourself, if a word answers what kind, which, or what quality about a noun or pronoun, bam, it's an adjective. But if it answers how, when, where, or to what degree about an action or a description, you've officially caught an adverb. Keep these questions handy, and I promise you'll never confuse the two again. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, empowering your communication.
So what does this all mean? Why does this even matter? Well, because these aren't just arbitrary grammar rules created to torture you in middle school. No, these are literal upgrades for your brain's output. Consciously using adjectives and adverbs directly improves your communication skills. You stop making your audience guess what you mean, and you start showing them exactly what you mean.
The source material for today's explainer summarizes this beautifully. It says, understanding the different types of adjectives and adverbs and their uses can help to improve communication skills and make writing and speaking more effective and precise. That is the core thesis right there, folks. It's all about empowerment through precision.
So, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge today. The very next time you sit down to write an email, a report, or heck, even just send a quick text message to a friend, ask yourself, how will the modifiers you choose manipulate the exact meaning of the next sentence you write? Are you going to settle for a flat, basic noun, or are you going to use an adjective to define it perfectly? Are you going to let a verb just sit there doing the bare minimum? Or are you going to use an adverb to give it manner, time, and degree? The choice is absolutely yours, and the power is right there in your vocabulary. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you next time.